Hello friends, in this lecture we will learn about Delhi Sultanate administration and other aspect of Delhi Sultanate. But before starting that, we will learn about two dynasties, Sayyid dynasty and Lodi dynasty. The Sayyid dynasty ruled from 1414 to 1451. In 1398, Timur looted Delhi and appointed Khijr Khan, Afghan general, as his governor of Indian territory. But at that time, Khijr Khan managed to establish his control only in northwestern part of Delhi Sultanate, mainly in Afghanistan-Pakistan region. And after making a stronghold in northwest frontier region, in 1414, Khijr Khan defeated Daulat Khan and took control of Delhi and founded the Sayyid dynasty. So the Sayyid dynasty was founded by Khizr Khan after defeating Daulat Khan. Khizr Khan remained subordinate to the Timurid dynasty and never declared himself as Sultan. Khizr Khan ruled as a Rayate Ala. Rayate Ala means vasal or subordinate. But the next successor of Khizr Khan, Mubarak Shah, used the title of Shah, and Shah means independent ruler. So he declared independent from Timurid dynasty. Mubarakbad city was founded by Mubarak Shah, and Ahmad Sarhindi was a court person of Mubarak Shah. Ahmad Sarhindi compiled Tariq Mubarak Shahi. And Alam Shah was the last Sayyid ruler, and he abdicated the throne in favor of Bahlul Lodi. So here is the political map of Sayyid dynasty and Lodi dynasty. So both dynasty ruled roughly same area, and they shared their border with Timurid dynasty in northwest frontier region. Lodi dynasty. The Lodi dynasty was founded by Bahlol Lodi in 1451, and they ruled from 1451 to 1526. And Bahlol Lodi ruled from 1451 to 1489. Bahlol Lodi annexed Jaunpur region of Sarki dynasty. Sarki dynasty declared independence during the reign of Tughlaq dynasty. So they declared independence during the reign of Tughlaq dynasty and remained independent till it was annexed by Bahlol Lodi, and they ruled in the Jaunpur region. Lodi dynasty contributed in garden style of architecture in India, and these architecture are known as Lodi garden. We found with garden around it, but in reality, they built the ruler of Lodi dynasty built tomb within the garden. Originally, there was garden. Later, they built the tomb, but it was known as Lodi garden or garden style architecture. Another important ruler of Lodi dynasty was Sikandar Lodi. Sikandar Lodi ruled from 1489 to 1517. He defeated Bengal and Rajput kingdom, including Gwalior, Chanderi, and Dholpur. And it was Sikandar Lodi who founded Agra city in 1504. And later he shifted capital from Delhi to Agra. So it was Sikandar Lodi who shifted the capital from Delhi to Agra, and he also founded the Agra city. He was a poet. He was a poet and used to write with the pen name Gulrukh. Next ruler was Ibrahim Lodi. Lodi ruled from 1517 to 1526, and he was highly arrogant ruler who used to disrespect nobles. In 1526, first battle of Panipat happens, and it was because the nobles were not happy with the behavior of Ibrahim Lodi. So the governor of Punjab, Daulat Khan, invited Babur to attack Delhi, and Babur accepted the invitation of Daulat Khan Lodi, and he attacked Delhi with the help of Alam Khan and Daulat Khan Lodi. Yeah. And um, So, a first battle of Panipat happened in 1526, and it was between Ibrahim Lodi and Babur. And in this battle, Babur get victorious and he stabilized Mughal Empire. Babur came with a small army but got victorious because of the use of cannons. And Ustad Ali and Ustad Mustafa were in charge of the cannon department. Now, administration of Delhi Sultanate. The most important post was Sultan of Delhi or Sultan. The court language was Persian, and the Sultan was the highest authority of Delhi Sultanate. The Sultans considered themselves representative of Khalifa or Caliph. The coins and Kutba means prayer of Delhi Sultanate confirm this. In the coins of Delhi Sultanate, we find image of Caliph or name of Caliph, and even in Kutba, there was mention of Caliph. Three rulers received letter of investiture or Mansur from Caliph. Uh, Mansur means official permission from Caliph to rule Delhi Sultanate. And these three rulers are Iltutmish. Iltutmish was first ruler of Delhi Sultanate to receive Mansur from Caliph. He received Mansur from Abbasid Caliphate and he ruled during Abbasid Caliphate and Abbasid Caliphate ruled from 750 to 1258. Other two Delhi Sultan who get the Mansur from regional caliphate were Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So the Sultan used to rule territory in the name of the Caliph and in a religious manner. They used to rule the territory in a religious manner. Balban tried to control the territory in the name of God by taking titles like Nayab-e Khudai. Nayab means deputy. So he took the title of deputy of God. On the other hand, Alauddin Khilji refused to follow Sharia law and separated religious and political affairs. Mubarak Khilji. Mubarak Khilji was son of Alauddin Khilji. He took the title of Khalifatullah or Khalifa. It means representative of God. And based on this, some historian concluded that he discarded the authority of Khalifa. So Mubarak Khilji was the only Sultan of Delhi Sultanate who discarded the authority of Khalifa. He also revoked some of the market reforms introduced by Alauddin Khilji, and this led to the inflation during reign of Mubarak Khilji. Administration of Delhi Sultanate. So Naib was important post. Naib means deputy or deputy Sultan. Naib was an important post next to the Sultan, and Wazir was another important post next to Naib. And the council of minister was known as Majlis-e Kalwat. Majlis-e Kalwat means Council of Minister. Now we will learn about department and head of department and who established the department. So there was Diwane Vijarat and it was finance department and headed by Wazir. The next is Diwane Insa. Diwane Insa is for correspondence or letter. Next is Amir Tujuk. Amir Tujuk is for ceremony purpose, and Alauddin Khilji was Amir Tujuk during the reign of Jalaluddin Khilji. Diwane Risalat. Diwane Risalat is for foreign affair and religious affair, and it was headed by Sadus Sadur. Then next department was Kajiul Kujjat, and it was Justice Department, and it was headed by Kaji Mumalik. Kaji Mubalik was Chief Justice. Then there was Department for Spy and it was headed by Baride Mumalik or Spies. Next was Diwane Arij. Diwane Arij was Department of Army and it was headed by Arije Mumalik. And this department was established by Balban. Next department was Diwane Must Kharch, and it is for collection of Kharch tax or maintenance of record of Kharch tax. And this department was established by Alauddin Khilji. Next department was Diwane Kohi and it was for agriculture loan. And this department was established by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Next department was Diwane Bandgani, and it was slave department established by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Next is Diwane Khairat. Diwane Khairat is for charity department, and it was established by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Next is Diwane Istika. Diwane Istika is pension department, and it was established by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So we had seen central administration, and in this slide we will discuss some aspect of central administration. Then we will discuss territorial division of Delhi Sultanate. The commander of the army was Sultan, not Arije Mumalik. Arije Mumalik, or head of army, was appointed to look for recruitment, salary, and other aspect of the soldier's life. So he was not the commander of army, but just to look the recruitment, salary, and other aspect of soldier's life. But he was not. Um, but he did not used to lead the army in battlefield. It was Sultan who was commander of the army. Next is Amir Bahar. Amir Bahar was officer in charge of transport, including naval transportation. Then uh, Sahnai Pil was superintendent of royal elephants. Then Amir Akhur was officer in charge of royal horses. And regarding territorial division, the administration was not territorial division. The it was how the territory was governed. The administration was based on Sharia law, but Hindu were used to govern by their own laws. And for sati practice, permission of Sultan was needed during Delhi Sultanate time. Regarding territorial division, the territory was divided into Ikta, Pargana, Sikh, and village. And uh, Ikta was governed by Iktidar, and the tax collection work in Ikta was done by Mukti or Walis. The next division was Pargana. Pargana was administered by Amil or Munsib, and Najir and Wakuf were tax collector. The next division is Sikh, and the in charge of Sikh was Sikhdar. And at village level, there was Mukaddam. Mukaddam was village headman. Then Patwari. Patwari was accountant at village level. The Ikta system was introduced by Iltutmish. Later, small Ikta were annexed by Alauddin Khilji, and the Ikta system was revived by Firoz Shah Tughlaq, who made it hereditary. And he he did not only made Ikta system hereditary, but he also established Diwane Istika, or pension department, for those who worked under his service. So he tried to get the support of noble by establishing pension department. And at village level, um, khut is an important term, and it is landowners at village level, or they were landlord. Regarding economy of Delhi Sultanate, there were three types of land. First one is Ikta land. Ikta land is assigned to higher royal officers in lieu of salary. Then second is Khalsa land. Khalsa land is land under direct control of Sultan. Third is Inam land, and Inam land is land granted to religious leader. And in first two, in Ikta and Khalsa land, there are number of taxes. Some important taxes are first is Usr. Usr means 1/10, and it was 1/10 of irrigated and unirrigated land imposed on Muslim only. Then second one is Kharj. Kharj was 1/3 of agriculture produce imposed on non-Muslim only in initial years. Later, Muslim were also covered by Kharj. So in later period, Usr was abandoned, and it was Kharj tax, which covered both Muslim and non-Muslim. During the reign of Alauddin Khilji, he raised Kharj to one half from 1/3. Next was Khams. Khams was war loot, and Sultan's share was 1/5 in Khams. Alauddin increases the Sultan's share to 4/5. Next tax is Zakat. Zakat was charity tax on rich Muslim and it was 2.5%. Next tax was Jizya. Jizya was protection tax on non-Muslim or dhimmi. Initially collected along Kharj. Initially this tax, Jizya, was collected along Kharj. Later the collection of Jizya started separately by Firod Shah Tughlaq. He imposed Jizya on Brahmins also, who were exempted earlier. Alauddin also introduced non-Islamic tax like Gharai and Charai. Gharai means house tax and Charai means grazing tax. And the coin in Delhi Sultanate were dinar. Dinar was gold coin, then Tanka was silver coin, and then Jital was copper coin. And it was Muhammad bin Tughlaq who experimented with token currency. He tried to replace the Tanka, silver Tanka, with bronze coin. Regarding art and culture of Delhi Sultanate, it was Indo-Islamic or Indo-Saracenic architecture. And in this architecture, we find introduction of dome, arc, and minaret with decoration in Arabic language, motifs and symbols. But this decoration, Islamic decoration, did not use human and animal figures. The architecture styles changed from uh, Trabit, Trabit or Corbelled style and changed from Trabit or Corbelled style to Arcuate style. In Trabet style, roof was made by placing a horizontal beam between two vertical columns and shikhar was made on the roof. In Arcuate style, dome roof with structure above door and window and a separate minar. So there was arc structure above door and window and there was dome on the top of roof instead of shikhar. In Indo-Islamic architecture, arabesque method was also used in decoration. Arabesque method is drawing a tree or branches, leaf and stem with uh, with splitting stems. From one stems, there are many stems emerge. And another technique used in Indo-Islamic architecture was Pitr Durat technique. And this was embedding precious stone in building walls. Next is foreshortening technique, and this technique was to make the inscription appear closer than it is in real. And mortar was used as cementing material during the Delhi Sultanate or Indo-Islamic architecture. So the important monument of Sultanate time period was built by different rulers. First one is Kutubuddin Aibak. He built अढ़ाई दिन का झोपड़ा at Ajmer. Then Quwwatul Islam Mosque at Delhi. And he built Quwwatul Islam Mosque by destroying 27 Hindu and Jain temples. Then Qutub Minar. Qutub Minar was five-story minar at Delhi, and it was copy of minaret of Jam in Afghanistan. Next ruler was Iltutmish. Iltutmish built Sultangadi, and Sultangadi was first tomb of India at Delhi, and it was for Prince Nasruddin Mahmud. Iltutmish also built Hoje Shamsi and Shamsi Idgah. Balban built Balban's tomb, and Balban's tomb we find first true arc in Balban's tomb. Then, during the reign of Alauddin Khilji, he made monument with red sandstone, and he made Siri Fort at Delhi, Alai Darwaja. Um, it was red sandstone doorway to Quwwatul Islam Mosque at Delhi, and it was first true dome. Alai Darwaja was has first true dome. Then Alauddin Khilji also built Hoj Khas Lake at Delhi and Hajar Khamba Mahal. Next ruler was not next ruler during the reign of Ghasuddin Tughlaq. or uh, he, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq built Tughlaqabad city and Tughlaqabad fort at Delhi. And during the reign of Tughlaq dynasty, they used better system, barter system. And barter system is sloping wall style of construction, not straight wall but sloping wall for higher strength of wall. Uh, Muhammad bin Tughlaq built Adilabad Fort and Jahanpana city at Delhi. Firoz Shah Tughlaq he built Firozabad city. Then Lodi dynasty. During the reign of Lodi dynasty, they introduced double dome structure, mainly and during the Lodi dynasty, there was decline in art and culture, and they mainly built tomb structure. And and in and in western region, after Malwa victory in 1448, Rana Kumbha made victory tower at Chittorgarh, dedicated to Lord Vishnu. And at that time, Malwa was ruled by Mahmud Khilji. Mahmud Khilji was Sultan of Malwa and he was defeated by Rana Kumbha. And to celebrate his victory, Rana Kumbha made victory tower at Chittorgarh. Literature of Sultanate time period. Hassan Nizami was court person of Kutubuddin Aibak. He wrote Tajul Masir, and Tajul Masir was first official history of Delhi Sultanate. Then Minaj Siraj um, was historian from slave dynasty, and he wrote Tabak Nasiri, and it was account for reign of Nasruddin Mahmud. Then Fakir and Minaj-e-Siraj also wrote Fakir-e-Mudabbir Sajari Ansab, and it means the tree of genealogies. And he also wrote Adab al-Harab wal-Saja, and it is related to the antiquity of war and valor. Then next historian was Amir Hassan, and he was also known as Sadi-e-Hind. He wrote Fawad al-Fawd, and it was teachings of Nizamuddin Aulia. Then another important person of Sultanate time was Amir Khusro. Amir Khusro was also known as Tutiye-Hind, and both Amir Hassan and Amir Khusro was follower of Nizamuddin Aulia. Amir Khusro was Mifat-ul-Futuh was um, Mifatul-Futuh describes reign of Jalaluddin Khilji. Then he wrote Khajana-ul-Futuh. Khajana-ul-Futuh is related to Alauddin Khilji. He wrote Khamas-e-Khusro and Tughlaq-Nama. Then there was Ibn Battuta. Battuta was Moroccan traveler who came to India during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and he wrote his travelogue as Rihala. Then Abdul Malik Isami. Abdul Malik Isami was court person of Bahmani kingdom, and he wrote Futuhat us Salatin, and its mean gift of Sultan. Abdul Malik Isami wrote Fatuhat-us Salatin, and Fatuhat-us Salatin start with Ghazni raid and end with the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Abdul Malik Isami wrote it on the line of Shahnama. Shahnama was Persian book written by Firdausi, and because it is based on Shahnama, Abdul Malik Isami called it Shahnama-e-Hind. Futuhat-us Salatin as Shahnama-e-Hind. Next important historian was Ziauddin Barni. Ziauddin Barni wrote Tarikh-e-Firoz Shahi and Fatwa-e-Jahandari. Fatwa-e-Jahandari was related to administration. Then Firoz Shah Tughlaq he wrote his autobiography named Futuhat-e-Firoz Shahi. And another important historian was Ahmad Sirhindi. He wrote Tarikh-e-Mubarak Shahi, and Tarikh-e-Mubarak Shahi is only official source of Sayyid dynasty. Development of music in Sultanate time period. New instruments, sarangi and kabab were introduced. Amir Khusro. Amir Khusro was contemporary of Alauddin Khilji, and he was known by the other name Parrot of India or Tutiye Hind. He was father of Urdu literature. He was credited for creating new rags and is considered as father of Qawwali. He introduced Ghazal in India. Ghazal was originated from Arabic poetry. He invented sitar instrument, and sitar was modified version of veena. Indian music Indian music work Rag Darpan was translated into Persian language during the reign of Firoz Shah Tughlaq, as Firoz Shah Tughlaq has great interest in music and musical instrument. Then uh, another important person who contributed in music field during Sultanate time was Man Singh Tomar, and Man Singh Tomar was contemporary of Sikandar Lodi. Man Singh Tomar was credited for development of Drupad. Development of Drupad under the patronage of Man Singh Tomar and his court person Baiju Bawra. Later, it was made popular by Swami Haridas and Tansen. Vishnupad. Vishnupad was sung in Man Singh Tomar brought song named Vishnupad, Drupad and Hori Damar songs. Vishnupad is songs in praise of Lord Vishnu, and it was Drupad based on Lord Vishnu. Mansingh also wrote a book named Man Kautul, and it is text on music. It was written by Raja Mansingh Tomar of Gwalior region, and during the reign of Mansingh Tomar, Sikandar Lodi attacked Gwalior, and conflict started between Mansingh Tomar and Sikandar Lodi when Mansingh gave shelter to rebel nobles of Delhi. Khayal. Khayal was more relaxed more relaxed form of Drupad, and Khayal emerged from Drupad. The evolution of Khayal was gradual from Drupad, but some historians credited Amir Khusro for creating Khayal. Drupad. Drupad is certainly older, which took proper shape in medieval era, basically by Mansingh Tomar. Um, um, and Drupad replaced the ancient Prabandh. It enjoyed popularity till the end of 17th century, after which it gradually declined with the emergence of Khayal, a more romantic and entertaining style. The nature of Drupad music was spiritual, and it does not entertain, but it includes feeling of peace and spirituality in the listener. Drupad is primarily a form of worship, in which offerings are made to the divine through sound or nad. Drupad was initially sung only in the temples with the singer facing the Lord. From this early chanting, Drupad evolved into a sophisticated classical form of music. The significant characteristic of Drupad is the emphasis on maintaining purity of rag. Over time, the language of Drupad changed from Sanskrit to Brij Bhasha between the 12th and 16th century. In medieval times, Drupad had Drupad had mainly thrived under the patronage of Mughal and Rajput king. Later, it declined with the rise of Khayal. In Drupad, the rag is slowly and methodically developed in a meditative mode. Gharana, the musical Gharana during Sultanate time. So there was Drupad, and we found different Gharana in Drupad, and the Drupad Gharana is mainly based on Banis. And there was Dagri Gharana. Dagri Gharana was started by Dagar family, and the Vani was Dagri Vani. Then Darbhanga Gharana. Darbhanga Gharana was based on Kandhar Vani and Gohar Vani. Then Betiya Gharana. Betiya Gharana was based on Nohar Vani and Kandhar Vani. Darbhanga and Betiya Gharana together known as Haveli style of music. Talwandi Gharana. Talwandi Gharana was based on Kandharwani in Pakistan region. Then after the after the rise of Khayal, there was decline in Dhrupad and Khayal emerged. So we will look about Gharana of Khayal style. So there are two type of Khayals. One is Bada Khayal, use slow tempo, and Chota Khayal, in which fast tempo is used. In Khayal, important Gharanas, Gwalior Gharana, and Gwalior Gharana is oldest one of Khayal Gharana. Then Kirana Gharana developed in Uttar Pradesh region, and important uh, singer of this Gharana was Pandit Bhimsen Joshi and Gangubai Hangal. Then Agra Gharana, also known as Rangila Gharana. Then Patiala Gharana, Bade Fateh Ali Khan was from Patiala Gharana. Then Bhendi Bazar Gharana, miniature painting, or not read, it is red lead paint. So miniature means red lead paint, not minimum. Or so miniature is Latin word, and in Latin it means red lead paint, not minimum size. And the characteristic of miniature painting is painting size should be less than 25 square inch, and subject size should be less than one sixth of actual size. So if you are drawing a building in your painting, in your miniature painting, then the building size should be less than one sixth of the actual building size. And miniature painting developed around 8th to 12th century AD in two different regions. Um, and before the development of miniature painting, there was wall painting or cave painting. But with the use of palm leaf on large scale for writing, miniature painting developed. And it developed in two different regions. One is Eastern region or Bengal region, and it was Pala School of Art. The miniature painting developed under the patronage of Pala in 8th to 12th century AD on palm leaf or vellum paper. And miniature painting also developed in western region or Gujarat Rajasthan region, and it was a bronze school of art, and it developed around 11th to 15th century AD on palm leaf and paper. Later, uh, later, lot of contribution was done by different dynasty in miniature painting. And during the Delhi Sultanate, uh, they introduced there was introduction of Persian style in Indian painting. So it was Persian plus Indian style, and there was also another style, and it was known as Lodi Kuldhar style in miniature painting. And they introduced miniature painting in manuscript. Earlier, before Delhi Sultanate, the miniature painting was used to draw on single paper or single palm leaf, and it was not part of any book. But it was during the Delhi Sultanate they make the miniature painting part of a big book or big manuscript. And one important manuscript of Delhi Sultanate was Nimat Nama. Nimat Nama was book on cookery, and it was written under the patronage of Ghiyat Shah and Nasir Shah, and they were ruler of Malwa region, or Sultan of Malwa region. And in this book, there were lot of miniature paintings. So this is the end of lecture. Thank you.